Ndaita Fasose, former president of the Gambia Press Union, has in her testimony before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission said that the current Minister of Foreign Affairs made repeated efforts during the Jammeh regime to arbitrarily arrest her. Ndai, who was in former government's most wanted list, has been in exile until 2017 due to her work as a journalist. She told the TRRC that government at the time blacklisted a lot of journalists and wouldn't hesitate to attack and kill them. We have more in this report.
The former president of the Gambia Press Union, Ndaita Fasose, on Thursday revealed before the Truth Commission that former government of Jammeh had done everything possible to extradite her from Mali. Her asylum began in 2009 when the press union issued a statement in reaction to the former president's provocative comment on the death of Deda Hydra. The press statement, which was carried on both the Point and the Fourier newspapers, led to the arrest and conviction of editors of the papers and executive of the Gambia Press Union. She was put in the most wanted list of people by the former government. They informed the commission that the current Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mamadou Tangara, who was the then same Minister of Foreign Affairs during Jammeh era, went to Mali on 3 occasions to negotiate her arrest and deportation.
So, the Gambia government has targeted you on a number of occasions. Yeah. You talked about being on a blacklist, and so you couldn't renew your Gambian passport, ended up with a Malian passport. Now you've talked about being on a blacklist, which is why you were stopped when you went to Harare, and they wanted to deport you back to the Gambia. Did the Gambian government target you in any other way?
Oh, certainly. The Minister of Foreign Affairs at the time met with the Malian Foreign Minister first in Kampala, I believe this was 2011, and told the Foreign Minister that President Jammeh was not happy at all with Tete of Mali because they were giving me a platform to destabilize the Gambia.
Who was the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Gambia at the time?
The current Minister, Mamadou Tangara.
Okay.
Yeah. And he did not stop at that. He had this conversation again with the minister, and he personally came to Mali to tell them that the president wanted me extradited to the Gambia and that I was involved in activities, again, to destabilize the government. Technically, that I was organizing a coup d'etat. So the Malian Foreign Ministry, they have excellent relations with the press, by the way, told them that they were aware of my activities as coordinator of a regional journalism project, and that should the Gambia government have information as to other activities that were illegal, because Mali obviously also would not host people who are trying to overthrow supposedly legitimate government, then they could work with their Ministry of Justice. I believe this would have been difficult to prove, so they never wrote formally, but on 3 different occasions they made a request. He even did speak to the president about it as well.
The former Jammeh Minister Tangara is hired by the new government to continue his services. On the death of the former Point newspaper editor, she said one of Jammeh's hitmen named Junglars confessed to her that they were responsible for the crime. The jungler, whose name she said told her of several attempts that they would use to eliminate whoever they wished to. In one instant, she said jungler had record of her number plate, and Athens was set for them to lose the tire notes so that she could somersault. She said this plan was not executed because the hitman thought the car was later sold when they saw a man driving it.
One scary thing that he told me was that they knew my car, and he also told me the number plate and the type of car, and that they were wanted to, they had already infiltrated my garages, and not the garages himself, but they had somebody in there that
like a mechanic, your mechanic at the...
Yeah, they knew my mechanic. They knew where I took my car for service or for repairs.
And the infiltration was someone else within that?
Yeah, it was someone else, and that they had instructed that the next time my car goes there, they should actually loosen the bolts of the steering wheel so that I would actually lose control. And he confirmed to me that this was actually what they did to my Fati, the current advisor to the president, and that this is why he had an accident.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Mamadou Tangara mentioned in Ndaita Fasose's testimony yesterday at the TRRC for negotiating series of attempts for her arrest.